Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Jamie Dawn, your professional psychic advisor, success coach, and evolutionary revolutionary. Today is Monday, February 5th, 2018, and I'm bringing you this week's energetic read that involves, as I mentioned in my blog, a sun square moon. And the moon being in Scorpio, the sun is in Aquarius. I'm going to talk about that for just a moment. I'm also going to offer you the card that I pulled for this week. I haven't done that in a while, but it was tapped on the shoulder, if you will, to bring this back to you. So, and also just to give you a tool that hopefully you can continue to use as you move through the energies. Those of you who are extremely empathic and sensitive and keeping up with the energy of 1 minute to the next, you're going to feel the ebbs and flows of life. And while I feel this week is a positive week, we can get a lot done. And as a matter of fact, we can make some really strong commitments, whether to ourselves or to another. It's a good time for drawing some real lines in the sand to be able to say, this is what I need, this is what I want, and how I'm going to move forward. And it comes right on the heels of that eclipse we just had last week. So whatever we're putting into motion right now feels pretty final for most of us, which brings me to the card of the week is the Seven of Cups. And I love this card, especially for this week, because this card symbolizes for me that we're leaving the past behind. We're letting go of all the emotional pains and hurts and the things that encumbered us, even the mental conflicts that we had been under, even though this is a cup and the card is cups and it deals with emotions. It also, we have to remember, we're not just our emotions. So oftentimes our mental body creates trigger points, which is an emotional response. So we're leaving behind some of those mental constructs that kept us stuck in the past. Also, we may decide to unencumber ourselves from holding someone else to the past. So this is a wonderful week for healing, for renewing our desires, renewing our commitments in relationship. It's also a few of you may be letting go of relationships that have really not served you. And a lot of you may have been dealing with competition or betrayals, or there's some deception that is getting revealed that you're sitting there going, I can't do this anymore. And so when that happens, this is a time when I say heal, that you can accept, you can forgive, maybe some self-forgiveness is in there, forgiveness for them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to stay in the relationship the way that it is. So as we continue to move through this week, we're going to find that our desires and passions really come to the forefront. And sometimes, I will say this, surprises could be there. And some of us may be ignited, if you will, to take on a new revelation. Some news may come to us. Something may suddenly, like a flash of insight, may come to us that says, I have an idea and I need to implement it, and this is what I need to feel good about it. It could throw the person or people that are affected by that decision of yours out of whack. Be careful, be compassionate. I mentioned in my blog too about a mantra. The reason being is mantras are the protector of the mind. And so when you are making a decision that affects yourself and others in a way that they don't quite understand, that mantra can help stabilize you as you communicate more of what your decision is surrounding, why you made it. Remember, the why tends to be the motivation. So you get to communicate that motivation to others. The other thing that this week is going to provide many of us is a reevaluation of a financial situation. So some of us may be looking at maybe our careers and needing to negotiate our salaries. Some of us may be looking at how we approach investments or savings, and others may be whittling back or redoing expenses. So some financial, and that's because you may receive some news of a bill or there's something happening that you want to do long term, but you can't get there at your current monetary status. So those are some situations that could reveal themselves. Now I'll tell you on a personal note, this morning in particular has been a little weird. the energy is a little strange, at least in my neck of the woods here in Richmond. We had ice on the road, and I get up in the mornings and go to an early class, yoga class, and there was ice everywhere, and I have to cross a bridge to get to my yoga studio. And there was multiple accidents, and then when I got home, there was 3 more that happened just outside of my place. It was weird. I mean, just the amount of it. And it's sunny out, and anyways, I share this because I tend not to dismiss anything. And when this kind of, I don't want to call it synchronicity, I guess it could be synchronicity, when these accidents occurred multiple times in a very short amount of time between, I would say, 5:30 a.m., because that's when I left to go to yoga, and then 10 o'clock, it was almost like we had this black hole of car accidents. So can we relate it to what's going on in our life? I've been contemplating this over the last few hours, and the biggest thing that it did for me is it called me into becoming more aware when I was driving, more aware of what was happening around me, and more aware of what was happening with other people. So I believe that what this energy, and the reason I feel called to share it with you, that you can utilize this week, is that when these accidents, when something of surprise, good or bad, I mean, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be something really good. Maybe somebody confesses their love to you and you had no idea they felt that way. Or, maybe you get surprised with someone in your life being pregnant, or you yourself getting pregnant. I mean, those are happy surprises for the most part. So it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but they alter our lives. Just like a car accident, your life in that moment is altered. And if nothing else, it brings us into a heightened sense of awareness. And so maybe we can practice that this week. I believe that's what the energy is going to invite us into, is that we just continue to practice this heightened sense of awareness, not to become a burden to us, but to invite us into choice. Remembering that this human experience, what makes it so delicious, is human free will. It's choice. So as these different things come up for us this week, keep asking yourself, what am I experiencing in this moment? What choice do I want to make? And can I stabilize myself enough using a mantra, using breath work, grounding, really being in your body, whatever tool you use to stabilize, and then make a conscious choice from there. Just notice, because we can't control what somebody else is going to do. We can't control how they're going to receive our information or our expression or the lack thereof. What we can do is we can make a moment by moment choice from a stabilized view. All right, I will leave you with that. If you have questions, comments, like, share, I so appreciate you guys subscribing to this video, this channel, and I'll be back next week, or who knows, when I feel called to do another video. Of course, please check out my new radio show with my co-host, Brian Benson. It's called Let's Get Real. It's on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific and noon Eastern at 12radio.com. And of course, you can find me at jamiedawn.com and 12listen.com. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.